Determining whether to use a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, breaker for disc jockeys or DJs power panel involves assessing the risks and benefits. While Section 525.18 of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, specifically addresses general use receptacles, the underlying intent is to safeguard personnel from electrical shock hazards. Equipment, even if not categorized as general use, can still present a shock risk, especially when used in outdoor settings. Consider the elevated risk of electrical shock at outdoor events due to factors like moisture, rain, or accidental water contact. GFCI protection is designed to mitigate this risk by rapidly tripping in the event of a ground fault. Special effects equipment, such as lighting, video displays, and music effects systems, can introduce additional electrical hazards due to high power demands or exposed wiring. While false tripping is a valid concern, it can be minimized by selecting a high-quality GFCI breaker and ensuring proper equipment grounding. It is a reasonable precaution to install a GFCI breaker to power the DJ panel as a safeguard against electrical shock hazards. In addition to GFCI protection, ensure the DJ uses properly grounded equipment, inspects cables and connections for any damage, and arranges for a qualified electrician to inspect the installation. Communicate your concerns regarding electrical safety and emphasize the importance of GFCI protection. Discuss potential risks and consider the DJ input on possible false tripping incidents. Aim to find a solution that addresses both safety and operational needs. The primary goal is to ensure the safety of all event attendees. By implementing appropriate electrical safety measures, including GFCI protection, you can effectively reduce potential shock hazards and create a secure environment for everyone. It is important to consider several factors. Firstly, the presence of moisture in an outdoor environment significantly increases the risk of electrical shock. Rain, damp ground, or even condensation can compromise the insulation of electrical equipment, creating pathways for current to flow where it shouldn't. Secondly, the nature of DJ equipment often involves a complex setup of multiple devices connected together. This can include lighting systems, audio amplifiers, video displays, and various special effects. Each of these devices has the potential to develop a fault, and the interconnected nature of the setup means that a fault in one device could propagate to others. Thirdly, DJ often work in environments with many people present, increasing the potential for accidental contact with electrical equipment. Audience members, event staff, or even the DJ themselves could inadvertently touch a live wire or a faulty piece of equipment, resulting in a shock. Fourthly, the use of extension cords and temporary wiring is common in outdoor events. These temporary setups are often more vulnerable to damage and exposure to the elements than permanent wiring installations. Nicks, cuts, or abrasions in the insulation of extension cords can create shock hazards, especially when the cords are lying on wet ground. Fifthly, many DJ transport their equipment frequently, setting it up and taking it down at different locations. This repeated handling increases the risk of damage to cables, connectors, and internal components. Over time, this wear and tear can lead to insulation breakdown and exposed wiring. Sixthly, the power requirements of DJ equipment can be substantial, especially when multiple devices are running simultaneously. High power demands can place a strain on the electrical system, increasing the risk of overheating or overloading circuits. If the wiring is not properly sized or the connections are not secure, this can create a fire hazard. Seventhly, the presence of metal enclosures and DJ equipment can create a path to ground in the event of a fault. If a live wire comes into contact with the metal chassis of an amplifier or a lighting fixture, the entire enclosure can become energized. Without proper grounding, anyone who touches the enclosure could receive a shock. Eighthly, the lack of awareness or training among some DJ regarding electrical safety practices can be a contributing factor. Some DJ may not fully understand the risks involved in working with electrical equipment, or they may not be familiar with basic safety procedures such as inspecting equipment for damage or using ground fault circuit interrupters. Ninthly, the potential for distractions and emergencies during an event can make it more difficult to maintain vigilance regarding electrical safety. In the midst of a performance, a DJ may be focused on the music and the audience, and may not notice a developing electrical problem until it is too late. Tenthly, the use of non-approved or substandard electrical equipment can increase the risk of electrical hazards. Cheap or poorly made extension cords, power strips, or adapters may not meet safety standards and may be more prone to failure. It is essential to use only equipment that has been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to detect even small imbalances in electrical current and to trip the circuit very quickly when a ground fault is detected. This can prevent serious injury or death by reducing the duration of the shock. While ground fault circuit interrupters are not a substitute for safe work practices, they provide an important layer of protection that can save lives. To minimize the risk of false tripping, it is important to use high-quality ground fault circuit interrupters that are designed to be less susceptible to nuisance tripping. It is also important to ensure that all equipment is properly grounded and that the electrical system is properly wired. A qualified electrician can inspect the electrical system and identify any potential problems. In addition to ground fault circuit interrupters, there are other safety measures that can be taken to reduce the risk of electrical hazards at outdoor events. These include, firstly, using only equipment that is approved for outdoor use. Secondly, inspecting all equipment for damage before each use. Thirdly, keeping electrical equipment away from water and moisture. Fourthly, using extension cords that are properly sized for the load. Fifthly, avoiding overloading circuits. Sixthly, providing adequate lighting so that people can see what they are doing. Seventhly, posting warning signs to alert people to potential electrical hazards. Eighthly, training all personnel on basic electrical safety practices. Ninthly, having a qualified electrician on site to address any electrical problems that may arise. Tenthly, having an emergency plan in place in case of an electrical accident. Communicating effectively with the DJ is crucial for ensuring a safe event. Explain your concerns about the potential risks of electrical shock and emphasize the importance of taking precautions to protect everyone in attendance. Be open to hearing the DJ perspective on false tripping and work together to find solutions that address both safety and operational needs. Consider the possibility of using a ground fault circuit interrupter with adjustable trip settings, which can be configured to be less sensitive to nuisance tripping while still providing adequate protection. It may also be helpful to have a backup power source available in case the ground fault circuit interrupter does trip, so that the event can continue without interruption. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to use a ground fault circuit interrupter is a judgment call that must be made based on the specific circumstances of the event. However, in most cases, the benefits of ground fault circuit interrupter protection outweigh the risks of false tripping, especially when the event is taking place outdoors and there is a potential for exposure to moisture. By taking the necessary precautions and communicating effectively with the DJ, you can help to ensure that the event is both safe and enjoyable for everyone involved. Remember to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with local codes and regulations. Ignoring these basic precautions can lead to serious accidents, injuries, or even fatalities. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Furthermore, consider the long-term implications of your decisions. While it may be tempting to cut corners or take risks in order to save time or money, the consequences of an electrical accident can be devastating. By investing in proper safety measures and following best practices, you can protect yourself, your colleagues, and the public from harm. Do not hesitate to seek professional advice or guidance when needed. There are many resources available to help you stay safe when working with electricity, including training courses, safety manuals, and online resources. Take advantage of these resources to learn more about electrical safety and to stay up to date on the latest best practices. Always be vigilant and proactive in identifying and addressing potential electrical hazards. By taking a proactive approach to safety, you can help to prevent accidents before they occur. Never assume that something is safe just because it has always been done a certain way. Continuously evaluate your work practices and look for ways to improve safety. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By working together to create a safe work environment, you can help to protect yourself and others from harm.